Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing the oil change on my 2024 2500 HD. So some of you guys have requested this video from when I done a video on a fuel filter change on this truck. If you haven't seen that and want to know how to do that as well, I'll leave that link down below. But for this video, we'll kind of quickly get into how to change the oil, what filter to use, and maybe some different kinds of oil that you can use. Try to make it a quick, simple video for you. That way you can change your oil and get on your way. And if you're like me, I just feel like changing my own oil is a lot better because, for one, I know that it's changed. There's sometimes I'm kind of skeptical about letting the dealership change it. You take it back there and they're done in 5 minutes, and you're kind of wondering if they even changed the oil or not. So this way I know I changed my oil and I know it's done, so it just gives me better peace of mind, I guess. But we'll go over the type of oil I bought for this truck, and then we'll get to what tools we're going to need to change out the oil. So for this oil change, I went with the AMSOIL. It's 100% synthetic. This is the 15W40. So 15W40, that's pretty much going to be your standard oil for your diesel trucks. The only time you might want to do something different, just make sure from where you live at, if you live in a colder area, then you might want to run a 5W40 for the colder temperatures and stuff. So as far as the AMSOIL goes, I just kind of done my own research. I'm not sponsored or anything. And from what I looked up, this is kind of like the best oil that you can put in it. And that's really why I went with this, is because, you know, I want to try to put the best oil that I can in it. And like for a lot of race cars and dirt bikes and stuff, I always ran the AMSOIL, and it always seemed to be, you know, really good type of oil. So a little more about the AMSOIL kit here. This is probably a more expensive oil than, like, say what your regular oil change would be. Say if you went with like a standard oil like Shell or something like that. But still, this is cheaper than going to the dealership and do it. So I think the dealership was like $180, and for this whole kit, I paid $140. I'll post this receipt up on the screen here. $148.65 was what I paid. But I actually got some additional stuff too. I got this oil filter wrench, so this goes on the end of your ratchet, and it fits the oil filter perfect. So I added that on, and also added an additional quart. So this calls for 10 quarts. I added 11 quarts just in case, you know, I needed a little bit more, or later down the road during the oil change, I needed to add a little bit more to it. So got an extra quart for that, and they threw in this funnel and rags. I had a coupon code for that. They threw that in for free. So next up is the oil filter for this kit. It is the EA017. This filter is 99% efficiency at 20 microns. So this is a really good filter. They actually have two different filters on their site. This one was the better one. It was like $10 more for it as well. But like I say, you're still going to be cheaper than going to the dealership and getting just a plain OEM filter and regular oil. So, but with all that being said, guys, whether you're doing AMSOIL oil change or just a regular oil change, I'll throw a sheet up on the screen that'll show you what's the right filters to buy for each kit. And that way, if you want to go with a different type of oil, then you'll know what filter to buy. And that way, you'll be able to just, you know, kind of pause the screen and write down the numbers and make it easier for you. But guys, we're going to go ahead and start the oil change. Main first thing you want to do is make sure your vehicle's been off for, I do at least 15 minutes. Just make sure all your oil's drained down to your oil pan. Go ahead and loosen the oil cap up top of the motor. That way, if there's any vacuum or anything, that breaks that vacuum and allows your oil to drain all the way out. So we'll go ahead and grab what tools we need, and we'll get started. Alright guys, so this is all tools you're going to need. You need at least a drain container that will hold at least, I would do at least 11 quarts. Get you some rags. You're going to need 10 quarts of whatever oil you're going to use. You're going to need a funnel. Make sure you got your filter, oil filter wrench. You'll need a ratchet with a 15mm socket on it. Also, if you're doing this in the gravel or the grass like I am, and you need a little bit more clearance, throw your cinder block under there, and it'll give you just a few more inches to get under your truck. Pretty sure if you was on like level ground on concrete, they're plenty tall enough to get underneath. This is stock ride height as well. Alright guys, so here's a drain bolt, and we'll go ahead and loosen it, get the oil draining out. We'll go ahead and take our filter off. Don't know if it'd be possible to get it out without getting oil everywhere. Probably not. So guys, as you're letting your oil drain out, you take your drain bolt, make sure you check the tip end of your drain bolt, because that's magnetized. If you got any metal shavings, anything like that, then you definitely need to be concerned on that. If you do have any metal shavings, you probably need to get to the dealer as soon as possible. So starting to come out to a slow drip now, and make sure too that there's a little rubber seal right here on the bottom of the oil pan. Make sure that that don't come off with your boat and you lose it in your oil. Alright guys, so oil's pretty much done dripping out. So we'll go ahead and clean our drain plug back up. Right now I just got it hand tight in there. We're gonna go ahead and loosen the filter, slide our drain pan under the filter. If they just hand tightened it last time, shouldn't be too hard to get off. Yeah, you know, they have this thing on there so tight. I guess that's what I get for going to the fast change to get my oil changed. But my miles was up and I didn't have time to do it, so I guess it's better than not getting it changed. I actually need to get some brake cleaner and clean this frame up and stuff. They got oil everywhere, but that's another reason why I like to change my own oil. But sometimes there is times that you don't have time. But while that's draining out, we'll go ahead and get the other filter ready. All right guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get our oil filter ready. Typically oil change, I like to pre-fill the oil filter all the way up, but with this, where the filter goes in sideways, then you're not going to be able to fill this thing all the way up. So you're only going to be able to fill it maybe almost half, a little bit below half. That way, because if you turn it sideways, your oil's going to drain out anyways. So another thing I'll show you here is this oil filter wrench I got from them. This is the 76 millimeter, but goes right on there, and then you got an adapter for your ratchet. So you don't have to have no oil filter wrench the next time you change. Just grab your ratchet that you already have under your truck and you're good to go. I really like that design of that, and I thought it was pretty neat. Get some oil on your finger and go around the top of the seal. It gets it nice and sealed up good. That's about a little under half full on the filter. We'll get some more rags and go put the filter on. All right guys, take one of your rags and clean up around your oil filter. So I say it probably wouldn't hurt guys to get some brake cleaner after you're done here and just spray everything off real good. All right guys, we got that cleaned up fairly well, and go ahead and slide the new filter on. So noticing too, this filter does say 25,000 mile oil change interval. I don't think I'd ever go that long, but just hand tighten your filter guys and put this filter wrench on and just snug it up. Make sure you tighten your drain plug. I will post the correct torque specs for the drain plug on the video too. Alright guys, so now that you got your oil drain filter on, filter tightened back up, drain plug tightened up, you want to go ahead and start putting your oil in. And like I said, it takes 10 quarts, and may have to have you something to stand on. Put the oil in. There's quart number 2. Another video I thought about doing, guys, was doing one of the map sensor spacers. I've seen a lot of posts and stuff about the map sensors and whether you should clean them or not, and I think you should. And I'm kind of curious to see what this one would look like, because it has right around 33,000 miles. So thought about doing that video next. You guys just let me know down in the comments. There's quart 6. And lastly, number 10. So guys, I'm going to give that about 5 minutes or so to settle, then we'll check our dipstick and see if we need to add a little bit more. So guys, while the oil's draining down to the oil pan so we can check it, I want to show you guys this folder that I keep in my truck. It's not something that you have to do or anything. It's just something that I do, and you might like the idea of it, but I just keep this folder in the truck, and basically it's got all my receipts for anything that's ever been done to the truck, as far as like oil changes, stuff like that, you know, what all they done to it, what miles that the oil was changed. I have in here fuel filter change, just some extra pieces of paper here to write, you know, stuff down on. And like say if I, like this is a receipt for a window tint, just anything that I do to the truck, I keep it in this folder, and then I just keep it in the truck. That way it just keeps a good maintenance record of, you know, what's going on with the truck and all that. But just want to show you guys that, just give you an idea if you wanted to. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and check the dipstick, see what the oil level looks like. Pull it out first and wipe it off, and then check it again. Oil level seems to be good, so we go ahead and reset our oil life. I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll start it up and run it, and maybe check it again after we run it. Alright, another thing too, guys, for you, you know, start your vehicle up, make sure you ain't got any leaks underneath, double check. So we'll go ahead and start the vehicle up. Okay, we'll go over to the infotainment screen, scroll down to oil life, and go ahead and reset it. So reset back to 100%. Don't normally like getting my oil life down to 0, but I've been super busy in the last 2 weeks, and I haven't had time to do much of anything, but we got it done now, and that's all that matters. But another thing that I like to do too during the oil change is double check my tire pressure, especially since it's getting colder weather now. So all your tire pressure information is going to be right here on the driver's side door. So it looks like the front, you want it to be about 60 psi, and in the rear about 70 psi. So So according to mine here, pretty low on the front and the rear, so that's something that I do during the oil change too, double check the tire pressure. But guys, something I did notice as soon as I started the truck up with this AMSOIL, I noticed that usually like that little tick that it has, like you've probably heard people talk about it or whatever, I didn't notice that it had that tick anymore. And I'm wondering if it's because of the oil is so much better, takes that away. Maybe it could be, it could not be. Maybe just let me know down in the comments below what you think. Also guys, there's a bunch of other service things that you can do to this during the oil change, changing filters, and like I said, the map sensor, checking brakes and your tires and rotating tires and all that stuff. So if there's more videos that you want to see on the channel, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to make a good video for you guys. And hopefully the oil change video here is pretty simple for you, and you can start doing your own oil changes, save you some money. I noticed on some of my receipts, like a dealer oil change was $180, and like I say, I bought an extra quart and plus an oil filter wrench, and got a funnel and rags and all that for 140. So regardless of if you go with a more expensive oil or a little bit cheaper oil, you're still going to save money. So, but that's going to be a wrap for today's video, guys. I really appreciate you all taking the time out to watch. And like I say, if there's anything I didn't show or you got questions about, just ask me in the comments. I always try to get back to everybody. And guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.